Hey everybody, we're coming to you from the Palestine-Israel region, and when we started New City, we had a pretty simple desire. We want to see the gospel of Jesus Christ spread throughout the world, starting in Manassas and then going global as well. And when we thought about how we might partner and get behind some of the global works that God is doing, we wanted to focus on some regions where there was little gospel presence and where it's actually very difficult to be a Christian. Around a year ago, I was able to meet some brothers who were doing some incredible work in the Palestinian territories that are largely Muslim and where there is very little gospel presence. And so we took a trip over here for two main reasons: to learn about what God is doing through them and to consider prayerfully how we might support and get behind what they're doing.
So when we got to Israel, we traveled by car across the border and the checkpoints into the West Bank and Palestine. The craziest thing for us is actually see what life is like once you get over into the West Bank side, and just the heaviness, even in the West, as we have a perception of what life is like in a Muslim nation. We were just compelled to see just that stark contrast. And some of the things that were really moving and even difficult to hear were stories of believers. One young girl who came to know the Lord and whose father became so distraught and so furious that she had converted from Islam to Christianity that he covered her in gasoline, threatening to light her on fire to get her to recant and to profess Islam as her faith. And so while those things were difficult, we were also so encouraged to hear stories of other people. One particular brother told us his story, growing up as a Muslim, becoming interested in things of Christianity and hearing of this Jesus, and became interested in the scriptures and was struggling to understand which way he was being led, seeing that conflict. And yet he saw Jesus appear to him in a vision, and I don't even know what that looked like, but he explained this vision where Jesus came over and gave him this sense of trust and faith, seeing him then profess faith in Jesus and follow in a path of discipleship with a passion to see the gospel spread out through his land and to see his brothers and sisters come to know the Lord. And so that was so encouraging, and it really compelled us to ask the question, what would it look like for New City Fellowship to be involved in what the Lord is already doing in this region of the world?
So based on what we've seen and experienced, we feel compelled that we need to get behind what God is doing in this region. As a church, we're not crystal clear on what that could look like, but we're exploring 4 key areas. Regular and specific prayer updates from folks on the ground here, and we're exploring what it could look like for us to welcome the leaders in this region for a time of training and equipping to send them back to do work on the ground. Third, we're exploring partnering financially and sending resources to help them with what they're doing. And lastly, we're even dreaming about what it would look like to send our own people to help with what God is doing on the ground in the West Bank.
So that's a quick glimpse of what we've been doing in this region. We're really excited to get back to tell you more and give you a bigger picture of what God is doing here and how we can get behind the advance of the gospel in the Middle East.